Hello. So my name is Lotta Love Hawkins. I am a trucking insurance risk manager specialist, and so wanted to just go over per Miss Tiffany's request, just what LexisNexis is and what it's not. So here's the website: consumer.risk.lexisnexis.com. LexisNexis is kind of like a credit bureau for the commercial side, for the commercial piece. So let me move this out the way. Okay. So right here you see it kind of says who they are. They provide information to businesses and government. So again, kind of like a credit review bureau, if I could talk today. And specifically, they work with getting these type of financial reports to the banks, financial institutions, insurance, nonprofits, law enforcement, healthcare. So this is who they are. And if you scroll from this first page, it does really a good job of kind of breaking things down. So I just, would say to really investigate this website, and that's really what I'm going to do in this walkthrough. And so you can request your report online, and then it'll come to you in the mail. So even though you request it online, it comes to you by mail because it has to be delivered through U.S. Postal to be considered um, correct. And so all this is part of the FACTS, which is the Fair Credit and Reporting. We'll click on this here in just a moment, but this is where you would. There's a telephone number right here, 800, right here. And this is what happens when you received an adverse action letter. So if you received an adverse action letter, again, it would have been mailed to your home. It would have detailed why you were ineligible for coverage or why the rate is not the standard rate. So if you were denied, if the rates increased, if you had limitations, or if they went and canceled your policy, they have to send you this adverse action letter. So when we click on here, as you see, it walks you step by step into what you'll need to do in order to dispute it. And so it's always advisable to kind of follow these things right here. And you see the last one is they want a copy of this letter. And so if you don't already have the letter, request the letter and then send them this information. You can call them again by phone to get this updated, but a paper trail in this case is advantageous to you, so you could show how long it's been taking. You can follow up on it. If you just keep calling in, they could actually say they don't have the information and it just takes longer to resolve. So follow the details on here of how to do the disputes. All right, so over here on the right hand side, if you want to request it, it's the same link, but when you click on it, it'll just ask you for your information. And only the person, just like a credit report, only the person can request a copy of their own report. So if you're doing it for someone else, you have to have the legal authority in order to do it, a power of attorney. So it's just faster, and easier for you to do it yourself. You can use this form here, in which here's the online instructions if you're asking kind of, what do they mean? But as you see, it's very basic information. Your name, your address, if there's a difference in the two, an email address along with your social, and driver's license, because this is how all that information is stored. All right. So going back up here, if you receive the adverse letter, you can click on it. It brings you, like I said, right back over here. So that's kind of how this website works. There's different links that bring you back to the main information. But when we talk about credit-based insurance scores, just for your knowledge, this is more so what it is. And so just going back, I just went to this button here at the very bottom to go to this website that explains more in detail what it is, what it's not. All insurance companies look at this. This is a report that, like I said, is fundamental. It just goes back in there. Now, each insurance company, and I'll show you where this says it in writing, they look at this information for different reasons and use the information that's on the same report for different reasons. I was sharing with Miss Tiffany that a lot of times if you have that type of rejection from Progressive or any insurance company, it's because you have a personal loss history with that particular company. It's not an across the board thing, but you may have received a lot of money from Progressive by being the person who was the victim of the accident. The other way around, the other party could have had Progressive insurance, and they pay you, somewhere in the database, and that's what this database shows. You had a large payout that is making Progressive uncomfortable. And so, kind of going in there, it talks about the reasons for the code. It talks about who makes the decision to grant or deny the coverage or place the rates. And again, I just wanted to show you in writing. The decisions about the insurance coverage and or rates are made by the insurance companies. So if Progressive is sticking to their guns, it's an extra $5,000, just making up a number. That's what Progressive has the right to do. And so what they have, the only disputable information on here, you can't force them to lower their rates or whatever, but you can dispute the factors. So the application information, again, if they had the wrong person's name, that's very common if someone is a junior or the fourth or something like that. You may be looking at the wrong person's information. The prior losses are also being considered. Like I said, the prior coverage as well as data, driving driving behavior data. That's kind of what the ELDs and different things are considering, and it's also part of what's part of your inspection history as far as the nature of the cause of the accident. Was it reckless driving due to speeding? Disregard of a sign, all those different things. That's why they include that information, because it becomes statistical in helping make better decisions. And so on here it says, how long does this information adversely affect you? Again, just like credit, it's on there for 7 years. And so 7 years, possibly as long as 10 years. And parts of it can be dismissed through a Chapter 13 bankruptcy. And so it shows up in multiple places, but this is, like I said, the Credit Bureau for Commercial Interests that reports all this information. So that's why you have to address them as far as if the information is correct. Once again, if the information is correct, you really don't have too much other saying it, and the only other thing you could do is just go to another insurance company that is less sensitive to it. So if this is a personal thing with Progressive, and I keep using the word personal, but if again the charge is a financial charge dealing with Progressive, the insurance company, they can say they're not comfortable with insuring you. They can charge you however much they want to charge you based on these factors. And if you take it to another insurance company, because it's not on their books, they might be like, oh, okay, so that happens. That has nothing to do with us. We're okay. But like I said, it is CLUE, and it stands for Commercial Loss Underwriting. I always forget what the E stands for, but it is pulled all the time. It is part of, again, commercial considerations. And so just wanted to review that with you. Hopefully this video makes sense. Here's the website. Check out all these disclosures. Oh, the FACT Act is the last thing I just want to bring to your attention. The Fair and Accurate Credit Transaction Reporting Act. Again, this is just, what happens when you make a dispute, what they can and can't hold against you. You're always, advised to get a copy of your report, just like you do your credit report, just to see what's on there. And if there's some of those factors that can be disputed, go ahead and dispute them. But if all of them are correct, once again, that's up to that insurance company to see how they want to use that information. All right, hopefully this was informative. Thank you again for your time.